Welcome to Ego Netcast. I am Martin Lindeskog. Hi, Phil.
Hi, Martin. How are
Hi.
you?
I'm fine. Yourself? How are things in India?
Yeah, everything is going on smooth.
Yeah. Where are you
Yeah,
located in India? What part of India?
I am exactly located at Hyderabad, the southern part of India. Uh, ex- the- I am in fact from Kerala. At another southern state in India. But
Yeah, from the
now I
spice
am settled.
uh, area where we have a spices
Yeah,
auction and so on. The spice
spices
trade.
are all.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's mainly cultivated in Kerala, in my native place. Here in Hyderabad, there is no such plantation. It's mainly in Kerala, in
Yep.
Idukki district, Munnar, and other parts of the hilly areas.
Do you like spicy food? I call myself a chili head, so I like chili pepper.
Yes, we Indians generally like it, and
Yeah.
it's one of our main food item.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how do you pronounce your name, Philip? Is it Verghese? And then we will talk
Philip,
about your nickname also, Ariel.
yeah, Ariel is my pen name.
Yeah,
Philip
your pen name.
Verghese is my official name. Verghese is
Yeah,
my father's name.
yeah. So we could start out with that. Could you tell the listeners about PV Ariel, your pen name, and
Yes. I'm so
where it's
glad to
come from?
share
You have
about
written a
that.
blog post about that.
Yes, exactly. Well, my online journey started a bit long one. Actually, it's a big long journey.
Yep,
To put that in short, let me put it
yep.
this way. It all started way back in 2000, and in fact, my reading habit pushed forward to internet activities. I was a vivid reader since from my childhood, and that helped me to write different kinds of article, especially in Malayalam, my native
Mm,
language. And on a
yep,
later stage, I shifted to the English literature writing, uh, and that was in 2007. I completed my postgraduate diploma in journalism, and that helped me to get into the world of English literature. And I started writing different, visiting different kinds of blogs in internet, and I write comments on different niche. In fact, I was a blogger without a blog. That is
yeah,
what my level.
yeah. You have written a blog post
In
about that also. It's interesting story.
yes. Yeah. In fact, that made me to the people who connected with me wherever I write comments, people started asking me, why don't you start a blog of your own? So that made me to start a new blog in Google's blogger
Yeah,
spot.com.
I did that also. When did you
So
start blogging?
yeah, that was in 2007,
Yep.
exactly 2007. One of my friend I met online, one Mr. Rijoy Pumala, an engineer from Kerala, and is working in a TV broadcast company in Kerala. He helped me in starting my new blog in blogger.com. And that after 1 year or so, it continued, and I got lot of encouragement from different coaches, and that helped me to start uh, another domain of my own, that is PV Ariel. In fact, PV Ariel, uh, Ariel is the name which is reflected in Shakespeare's uh, drama Tempest. I also wrote about this, how I got my pen name in one of my blog posts in my blog. And in that, there is a good spirit called Ariel. He did a lot of
Mm,
interesting things in that drama, and once I was in school in the eighth standard. I was in my English class. My teacher took this portion of Tempest, and she asked few of us to read uh, act from the drama, something like read out the different characters, and I got the name of Ariel. That
Mm.
character I played. I played in the sense I read out, and it was one of the interesting character in that drama, and the people started calling me Ariel.
Mm.
In a way, in the beginning, I was a bit worried. Then, on a later stage, I found out that this Ariel name is not even in the Bible. And this
Yeah.
real name, the meaning of this word is Lion of God. Then I
Mm.
started writing using as that pen name and started writing in Malayalam as well as in English. So that is the way I got my pen name. It's given in detail in one of my posts in my website.
Yeah. Thank you very much for sharing your story. I will include your blog post there in the show notes. And here, talking about BizSugar, that's how we met. You joined already in 2015, and you have submitted several hundreds of stories and also
Okay.
lots of comments, as you're very good at that, commenting. And also done lots of voting in a positive way. So could you say a bit what you like about
Yes,
Miss
yes, I
Sugar and
can. Yes,
yeah,
sure, sure. Of course, I can talk a lot about sugar. I
yeah,
joined, I think, in 2013, in
yeah,
January 13. I still remember. I recently I checked it also, and I was an active member in the beginning stage, and unfortunately, after 1 year or so, due to some offline projects like translation work and other things, I was away from the online activities, and I was bit away from this project, this platform also. And on a later stage, I used to intermittently visit this place and curate my articles there, but I was not that active at that time. In the recent time, in 2019, and I think in January this year, again it relaunched after the initiative of Gail Gardner,
yeah.
and I was again active in this platform. It is one of the wonderful platform. I can say that we can get a lot of traffic from it as well as share our content by sharing in different platforms. And especially, I have wrote an article about this sugar activities in one of my blog posts, uh, and it is updated recently. The title of that post is "Tips to Get Traffic to Your Blog." In that, I especially mentioned more about these new activities carried out by Gail Garden and her team, and now it is going on well. I am so happy to be part of it. And in the recent time, one
Yes,
of
hello.
my article, I got sugars, the top sugars,
Yeah,
43 likes I got, and Gail Garden in one of her article especially highlighted this, and that was really a great encouragement to me, and I even mentioned about that also in one of my articles in my website. Altogether,
great.
it's going on well. I like it, and I recommend to other people also about this. And I have few more suggestion to make about this platform.
Okay.
When it is used through mobile, I face some kind of problem. I mentioned about this to Gail Garden, and she said that she will take raise a ticket and to the Soho Connect and will rectify. I hope that that part will be rectified soon, because most of the people now use mobile instead of
Yeah,
laptop or other thing. We need to more concentrate on that side of UAs. If it is more user friendly, mobile user friendly, it will be more fine. And another thing I would like to note in this regard is earlier BizSugar used to highlight the uh, top users of the
Mm.
blog in a sidebar of the platform, but
Yep.
now it is not there. I think if you can keep that kind of fun placement, it will be good.
Mm.
And not only
Yep.
that, you have to be a little more highlighted about the mastermind community in the share BizSugar share platform, so that
Mm.
many will be visiting here and the people will get attention. Of course, now there is a pop-up coming up in the platform about this new mastermind platform. That's good. Check out this
Yep.
new generation of sugar powered by Soho One. You are invited. That's a good idea. But I think when we go to the other site, immediately that pop-up will be moved and it cannot be seen. So instead of
Mm.
that, permanently, if we can keep one sidebar about the mastermind platform, it will be good. So people can easily find out and can visit the mastermind easily. This is one of my humble suggestion.
Yeah.
Uh,
Thank you much for your
Martin.
suggestions, Philip. And
Yeah,
now Gail and others will listen to this, so you could develop that over time. So
yeah.
it's great to hear. And I will include here also in the show notes one of your latest submissions, and it was on CEO and how to the 13 different steps there, or CEO steps to do before publishing your blog post. Do you have any more thoughts on that or any comments on the latest submission that you did there on BizSugar and also came on the hot page there?
I didn't get you, Martin. Can you
No, it's
repeat?
the latest one that you submitted was the 13 essential SEO search engine optimization steps to do before publishing your blog post.
Yes,
So
yes.
very yeah. Do you have any specific comments on that post or anything in general about the posts on BizSugar?
Of course, that is a guest post written by
Mayun?
one of my online friend.
Yep.
In fact, he almost all covered everything about how to write a blog post and how to get more traffic out of it, and almost everything he covered in that. Um, of course, our continuous activities or the involvement or engagement with the fellow bloggers is the top secret in this to
Yeah.
get more traffic and engagement. If we visit different kinds of blogs in our niche, and definitely if we drop uh, value added comments there, definitely people will get noticed and they will come to our platform also without any delay. And the thing is, we need to keep the comments uh, relevant to the topic. Most
Yep.
often, we find even in many platforms, the people visit the platforms to get back some backlinks. So
Hmm.
they simply comment a one word or a generic comment like very good, excellent,
Hmm.
eh? And the people just leave their um link there and go. So for
Hmm.
this, I in my website I have made a new comment policy for this. Those who
Yeah, I've
just
seen that.
visit to get a backlink, please don't drop your one-word comment or one-line comment. In every articles at the bottom of my article posted in my website, I specifically mentioned about this comment policy. I think my sincere request to all bloggers is that I think some people simply just accept one word comment to just to show the comment numbers. I don't support that. And it is good to have the people who comment on our blog should be posted the relevant comment to the topic. And also in few lines, if it is few lines connected with the content, it will be good. Otherwise, it simply go to the there is no meaning. It we can easily understand that it is such people are commenting just for a backlink. This type of tendency is not encourageable. That is my finding from my comment journey. In fact,
Yeah.
I was, as I told you, I was a comment author before having my own
Starting blog.
website. In one of my interview I had with one Mr. Reggie
Mm.
Stephenson of UK, I mentioned about this, and he put the title as a blogger without a blog.
Mm.
And that interview also you can read in my website. In that, I very clearly mentioned about all these things about comment. Of course, I have published a good number of articles on comment, blog comments, and how to do it and how not to do. All those things are mentioned. Even that is translated into the Malayalam language also. Yes,
Mm.
Martin.
Yeah, I think that's a very valuable point to have is that blog comments are important in the blogosphere, and that's an interesting topic to discuss more. And you have an additional service there of adding value, that you do blog roundup post with different bloggers, and you have a service there. Could you tell a bit more about that to the listeners?
Yes, yes, yes. I am very happy to share about that. Actually, after my commenting journey, I could earn a good number of experts and influencers from different fields. Uh, Only because of my comment, I got acquainted with the experts and influencers from different countries, and that actually made me to start my Roundup post business. Uh, I published few of them and got a very good response from different people. And these Roundup post details you can see at the sidebar of my uh, blog website. And Roundup post is one of the important blog writing thing we can get more traffic to our sites. The technique is that most of the influencers, uh, most often, once they publish their note on our Roundup post, they also will share the content to their social circle. So from there, we get more traffic to our site. This is one of the not much uh, uh, people are using it because it involves a lot of hard work and time consuming thing and corresponding with the people and waiting for their reply and keeping all those in one file. All these things, it's a big confusion, and most
Mm.
often many writers, especially blog writers, skip this area. But my sincere suggestion is that if we involve in this type of roundup post business, I mean blog writing, it will improve our website traffic and our engagement with influencers. This is what I experienced in roundup post blogs.
Yeah, great thoughts on this, Phil. And I will wrap up here with a few ideas and thoughts, and I will ask you about who would like to listen to from the BizSugar
Yes, yeah,
members.
I was, yeah, actually, Mr. Eric Emmanuel is one of the
Mm.
person I wanted to suggest it. I think in one of the previous interviews, someone else suggested his name, and in
Yep.
fact, he is more senior to me at BizSugar. And another person, of course, you may be having the plan about going with Eric Emanuele. And
Mm.
another person I wanted to suggest is Christopher Janbreeze. He's
Mm.
another good blogger and an active member here at BizSugar. I think he is the right bet for next interviewer.
Yeah, that's great, Phil. Thanks for your input there. And I want to end here with two things. I will quote
Yeah,
a quote by Benjamin Franklin that you had in one post with Cheryl Young, I think. Uh, if you would not be forgotten as you are dead and rotten, either write
yeah,
things worth reading or do things worth the writing. Could
yes,
you
yes, exactly. That,
tell a bit more about that? I love
yeah,
this quote.
that is one of my favorite quotes. I quite often quote in my writings and as well as wherever I speak with others. Whatever thing we have on this earth, everything will one day will end.
Mm,
And before our life ends on this earth, it is better to do something good for the fellow being. Of course, I am a firm believer of Jesus Christ and a firm believer of Bible, and
mm,
that is the basic thing I can share with my fellow beings. That as long as we live on this earth, we have to do good to others through our actions, through our words, and in whatever way we can. And if we do in such a way and live in such a way, definitely after we leave from this earth, people around us will definitely say that once upon a time, one fellow by name Philip was here. He was a very good person, doing good things to the people around as well as the people even enmity with. So if we can have that kind of tendency, if we put forward and practice it in our life is worth a living life on this earth. I like that quote by Franklin,
mm.
and I mentioned it in many of my blog posts. I like it. I,
Yeah,
yes,
and that's great to hear, Phil. I think you are doing great work. And I am a
yeah,
free thinker, so
yeah.
I'm not a religious person, but I think
Okay,
you have done
okay.
a great,
Yeah,
great.
you have your own. Yeah,
Yeah, I have my own beliefs, and you have yours.
yeah,
And
yeah,
as long
yes,
as we have a
yeah,
freedom of speech, and there
yes,
are,
yes.
and you have written important things about that in your news site story about the freedom of speech, and also to be able to practice what you believe. And
Yeah.
what is that site called? The news site that you have, because you're covering in things happening in India, and you have talked about your language there. Is it called like from Malaysia English, or would you describe that? Malayan.
Malayalam,
You have
Malayalam,
so many different
Malayalam.
yeah beliefs and languages in India. Um,
Yeah.
and I will uh, round up here, and about my passion is tea, and I through a meetup, like physical
Yeah.
meeting, I used a application called Meetup, and through that,
Yeah.
I met a good new friend called Yidesh Kumar, and he's from India. And we have talked about
Okay.
tea and other things like that. And he is soon traveling to India again, and he's now living in with his family, with his wife and
Yeah.
children, child here in Gothenburg, Sweden. So I think that's interesting to learn about new countries, cultures, beliefs, as you say, and we could have a conversation freely and in a voluntarily way. That's why I'm inviting guests to my podcast to talk about these important topics. So, do you have anything you want to say that about the importance of drinking tea and news about
Yeah.
India?
Yes, I am actually a tea addict,
Yeah.
and I like to drink. In my Knol activities in Google's Knol, I think you might have heard about it through my
Yeah,
writings.
I learned from you about that. I didn't know about that project Knol
Yeah,
by
it,
Google,
it
and you have been
was
very
few
active
years
there.
back.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes, few years back, Google started that in within 2 years' time they shut their shop. Maybe because of the uh, activities, less activities of the people, or maybe
Mm.
the financial benefits was not there. Also, all of a sudden, after 2 years of time, they shut the shop. In fact, that was started uh, exactly like Wikipedia. So the attempt by Google failed, and they stopped that. There I was an active member, and one Mr. Peter Baskervilli, he wrote about coffee, one article, and I translated that into Malayalam. That also you can see it in my website. Uh, of course, there I contradicted with tea and coffee. Actually,
Mm.
I supported tea, and he supported coffee, and there was
Yeah.
a big conversation was going on that. And tea is actually in our state in Kerala, in Munnar area. These products are very famous and widely cultivated, and also spices like cardamom, cinnamon, and pepper also are available in these hilly stations of Kerala. Tea
Mm.
plantations are very famous, like Tata tea and
Yep.
Kannan Devan tea, and a few other famous teas are produced from that hilly stations in Kerala, Munnar. Of course, tea is in Hyderabad tea. Another thing to note here is that Hyderabad tea is very famous. After the biryani, Hyderabad biryani, people prefer to have Hyderabad tea. That is very tasty and very famous too. You can Google it and find out. It's Martin.
Yep. Thanks very much for um, telling me more about tea, and we will talk more about that. It was funny that you said this, like a friendly competition between coffee and tea. I bought this domain tea versus dot coffee, and I have some plans to do something about with that, to rally the tea enthusiasts and tea drinkers, because my first published book on black tea, the title is The Second Most Popular Beverage in the World, and
Yeah.
that's the case here in Sweden. It's coffee is the second most consumed beverage after Finland, so it's very concentrated to coffee for historical reasons and so on. But still, people are finding tea also. And I drink coffee, I would say, for the record, that too. But I'm putting my cap on as a tea drinker. So I like very much your story there, and we will include that in the show notes also. So, is it any ending things you want to say, Phil?
Uh, Nice speaking to you, Martin. Nothing more. Yeah, let us have more talk in this way. This is
Yeah,
one of my first attempt in podcast. Hope we can improve more in the coming days. I
yeah,
think
great.
our time is end here. Let's have more such cordial talks in the days ahead.
Yeah,
All the best, Martin. Take care.
yeah. All the best, Phil, and talk to you soon again. Cheers.
Yeah. Bye bye. Bye bye.
Bye.